Hello, my name is Alan, and today I am facilitating the first of 5 sessions of Season of Dreams. This is a PBTA in development by Blake Ryan, another Gauntleteer, and it is a game of dreamlands and reality. So there are two places in this game. One is Salisbury in southwest England, the reality. And one is a dreamland that is shaped by myth, stories, legends. In my mind, I conceive of it as the dreamlands are shaped by what reality thinks, the legend that it thinks of, the myths that it knows of, the stories it tells. Quite how that works out in play, we'll find out. But the players will move back and forth between those two milieux during the series. That's the intention. I'm going to start in the Gloom because I want to try and flesh out what the Gloom looks like to the players, because I've got a fairly good idea what Salisbury might look like. So that's the nature of the game. We are now, and I will ask the players just to look at the Cats tab. So this is all about magic and mystery. The aim of this session, we've already just fleshed out the characters a bit. We'll do a little bit more of that shortly. And we'll try and, I'm going to start in media res, and then we're going to see where the story takes us. In terms of tone, the tone is I think intended to be more 15 plus than 18 plus in terms of a viewing audience. There could be bits of whimsy in it. That'll be a challenge for me. Those people who know me and have played with me know that I'm much more routinely at the sinister and horror end of the spectrum than I am at whimsy, but I'm going to do my best. But it is fair to say that the Gloom, the Dreamlands, and Salisbury could be fairly sinister and dangerous places if the play goes in a certain direction, I guess, and if that's where the players want the play to go. I think therefore, I don't expect a lot of horror, but in case we do see some adult or horror themes cropping up, we're going to be continued. We'll use what I consider to be a fairly standard set of safety tools for our play, and those safety tools are based on our experience in the Gauntlet of our table culture. And it's worth saying that this, like the vast majority of my games, was organized through the Gauntlet RPG community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about the Gauntlet, then if you type Gauntlet-RPG into any reputable search engine, you will find us. And you know, come and play with us. If you really want to support us, there is a Patreon, and that Patreon supports our podcasts. It supports the games we play and the community we operate. And it also supports our, I think, approximately bi-monthly now magazine, which is now running at 80 odd pages a shot. So it's pretty good value, actually. So, you know, find us on Patreon if you'd like to support us. If not, every season, every 3 months or so, we run a weekend of open gaming where we invite people to come and try playing with us, to try online gaming in these COVID times. So yeah, look out for information on our Gauntlet Community Open Gaming Weekends. We had one a couple of weeks ago. We got another one, I think, scheduled for probably February, March time, I would guess. So the Gauntlet prides itself on its table culture, and so we are regular users. We always use safety tools. So the safety tools that I'll be playing with today are the X card. The X card is there. And forgive me if I'm saying stuff to the players that they already know. I know some of them will know this. But the X card is there to bring a stop to play if anyone is disturbed by the direction that the play is going, that the narrative is going. Now, I will warn the players who haven't played with me before that the best way to get me to notice the X card is to actually show me the X card, because I tend not to scan the text, the chat very thoroughly while playing. So that's the best way to do it. But please, if you're uncomfortable doing that, type it into the chat. And those of you that are much more chat aware than me, please draw my attention to it. And then we'll stop the play. I won't ask why the X card's been played. I might ask how far back the person who's played the X card wants me to move the narrative so I can play forward and avoid the material that has disturbed people. And let me stress, the X card is not there for really, can be there for what can appear to be really small items. I've had the X card played around a name that I gave an NPC, and it was the name of a close friend, somebody who's very fond of, and they really struggled with the idea that I was naming this evil NPC after their friend. So they played the X card, changed the name, move on, easy. And I suppose the other thing to say is that if something comes up and you think, oh no, that's okay, and then later on when it comes up again, you think, actually, no, it's not okay, don't worry, play the X card. It doesn't matter if you didn't play it the first time something came up, just play it whenever you like, and we'll take note of it. We're also playing with an open door. The open door it means that stuff comes up in real life if you need to step away from the screen. And one of our players is worried about the impact of a typhoon today. So stuff may happen. We'd love to have you come back, but if you need to step away, do step away. And look, the open door is also there. If this turns out not to be the game you thought it was, don't feel you're obliged to sit there and suffer through it. The open door is there to say as well, this isn't the game I thought it was. It's not quite the game I'm wanting to play. Thanks, but I'm going to step away. That's fine. That's what the open door is for. None of us should be chained to the table, the virtual table, to play games that we're not really enjoying. We're also playing with the Golden Community Code of Conduct. I sometimes rather crudely summarize the Code of Conduct as don't be a dick. It's just a shared set of expectations. So we are here to enjoy ourselves collectively. We are not here for our individual enjoyment at the cost of other people's enjoyment. This is a collaborative enterprise. And we're also playing with lines and veils. And there is a tab in the Character Keeper. Now, given the tone of this game, you will notice, players, that I have started with a significant number of lines. Lines are those things that we won't come across in the fiction. I started with sexual assault and violence, harm to children, torture by PCs or NPCs, harm to animals, and I get here that we need to make that distinction about innocent animals and the fact that some of the players are playing animal folk. Yeah, so I'm making that distinction. Damn animals would be the crude way of putting it. Peril to pregnant women and infants, consensual sex, domestic violence, suicide, betrayal or violence between PCs. It just doesn't seem to me that it's that kind of game. I've also lined body horror because I can't imagine how we get to that. Currently, I veiled gore because I guess if we come up across some nasty bad person, we may want them to have a fairly nasty end. But so far I've veiled that. And what that means is that it may go on in the narrative, but we won't see it described. We'll draw a discrete veil. And I don't know if I forgot to do it, but somebody has lined cannibalism. Again, I can't see how that's going to fly in this tone. So that's fine. And then we have two other columns, ask first and interested. And I notice someone is interested in romance with NPCs and PCs. We'll see where that comes.
I have a question though.
Okay.
We have romance in there and we have a line on consensual sex, which means this won't happen at all. That can't happen, and we shouldn't even. I mean, that's I feel that's okay. I mean, if we want to go that way, but
I'm seeing a distinct difference between romance and sex.
Okay. Yeah, sure, yeah. But well, okay.
I guess romance is the kind of thing you see in a Disney film. Is that the way other people are kind of reading that apparent contradiction? Any comments?
I think it's fine. It's basically a T-rated sitcom. Everybody talks about being in a relationship, but the sexual component is never at the center.
That's the distinction I was seeing, I must say. Does that seem sound, Sabine?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't have to have sexual thingies in the game.
Okay, so those are the safety tools we're playing with, and I will invite the players to add any more to that, over the next couple of minutes while we're playing, or indeed in play. Though if you do it in play, I may not notice it. Just be aware of that. So with all that in mind, then
I think I'm gonna have to call a line on infection and plague.
by all means, yeah.
Not a good time for that one.
Yeah, no, let's draw that line between. And there are some spaces on that sheet for you to write in others that I haven't thought of or other players haven't thought of. Okay, but do that, and I'll check that out before we start play proper. So with all that in mind, then let me ask the players to introduce themselves, tell us what their pronouns are, and introduce their character and tell us what their pronouns are. And then we'll move into working out how this group of characters come to be together. So character keeper order, I think, is where I'll start. So Sabine, say hello and tell us something about Shelley Widdershins.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. Today I'm going to play Shelley Widdershins, who uses she, her pronouns. Shelley is a musician, a hippie, a drifter. Yeah, she is not the most courageous person, but she's kind, I guess. So, well, she has a gecko named Harlan, who's mostly wise as and not nearly as kind, but more courageous. So, yeah, and also she can turn herself into a bird, which I think is a very good option if you're not hugely into stuff that requires courage.
I will ask whether at this point you want to tell us if Shelley was born and brought up in the Gloom or born and brought up in the Earth-like reality that is Salisbury.
No, she was born and brought up in Salisbury, I think in some kind of high-rise, very boring place. And she got out as soon as she could, probably dreamed herself into the Gloom in self-defense because her parents were, I don't know, law clerks or something like that.
Didn't fit with that kind of slightly free-spirited hippie musician. Okay. Paul, say hello and tell us about Fungo Smedley.
Hi, I'm Paul, he, him, and the character I'm playing today is a satyr by the name of Fungo Smedley. Fungo is a very large gentleman, clearly lives his life in a very Epicurean kind of way. It's normally always about excess of anything, and that's Fungo.
But I notice he's courageous.
Yeah. He's clearly the missions that he follows for the Iron Union. He truly believes in it, and that's where he gets his courage.
Oh, that's something I should have checked in with Sabine as well. There are 4 broad factions in this game. The Iron Union, which is largely socialist, the Hallowed Nine, the 9 of the Celtic gods, the theocracy, Forever Gold, the capitalist consortium, and the Sapphire Throne, who are the monarchists. So Sabine, remind me and our millions of viewers, who has Shelley Widdershins worked for in the past?
Shelley has worked for the monarchy. I imagine that was the Sapphire Throne, because musician, that's having a patron like that is occasionally useful.
Okay, and but Fungo is probably the polar opposite of that in terms of people he's worked for. Has he worked for them because he believes in their socialist ideals, or for other
very
reasons?
much believes in socialist ideology and ideas, and that's really sort of where the background of the character is.
Okay, and so he's working class satyr. Working class hero. Okay. Let's move along. Greg, say hello and tell us something about Velura the Lugat.
Yeah, so yep, I'm Greg. Let's see, we got Velura. She's the kind of bat creature, humanoid creature. And so yeah, I would say she is very like assertive and excited and goes after what she wants. We'll say her family, she comes from the Hallowed Nine, and she is a practitioner, but I think the Hallowed Nine is just kind of the culture she comes from. Her greed is really what drives her. So she's not necessarily against the Hallowed Nine, but she obviously, doesn't think about it when it contradicts what she wants to do.
So it's
So,
a convenient belief, if anything.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then Matthew, say hello and tell us about Kit Baxter, our Viveru.
Yeah. Also, I've got Kit is a Kit is a Viveru. She is of middle class roots, except circumstances, economic circumstances have caused her family's fortunes to sort of slide into sort of the upper edges of poverty, and so she's got a real hang up about that. She's definitely a sort of every person for herself kind of individual. She's very very brave, very brave, and very eager to prove herself. Um, yeah, she works for the Forever Gold faction, which means she's willing to take any odd job, anything that can sort of like keep her, that can help her survive.
Okay, thank you for that. Now we'll also develop some connections between you. We'll see that that there's a couple of sections underneath. And if I illustrate using Shelley Widdershins, so Shelley, you helped one of the other PCs either in the Gloom or the Earth reality against either banshees, bodachs, ghouls, humans, kelpies, or the foxfolk, the Viveru. And then there's a space for any optional detail that you want to fill in. So do you want to tell us, Shelley, which PC you have worked with against these potential foes? Oh, you are muted.
That is bad. So I helped in Earth reality against not technology, but I think maybe it was I really want to help somebody against. I think I helped them against humans because that makes most sense, right? Because I know the stuff, even though I'm not feeling like I'm at home in Earth reality, really. But I grew up there. I know the words, things.
Okay.
So who did I help?
Indeed.
Anybody jumping on that? Anybody wants to be helped against evil humans? Maybe a cop, a traffic cop or something? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yay, I helped Fungo Smedley, not Fungo Smedley.
Well, maybe that as well. Time will tell. And then if you want to add any detail of that to Shelley's sheet in the optional detail bit, that'll be fine.
I think I think there was some sort of kind of misunderstanding maybe with some authorities who did not understand why this person was not doing what they thought was customary. Oh no, I've got a better idea. It wasn't authorities, it was hooligans. Because I think that Fungo quite by accident wandered into some sort of pub or aftermath of a football game and wore the wrong colors basically, and I kind of told him, hey, I don't know about, do you really want your ass kicked, because it's this, what you're wearing seems like the perfect opportunity, but there are lots of them.
Great. Now, I'll stress these things don't have to be bilateral. Just because Shelley helped Fungo doesn't mean that Fungo needs to include Shelley in this. So Fungo, what are you thinking? Where did this go on? Who was it against? And what kind of detail are we talking about? And then you can put it on the table, see if anybody wants to pick it up.
Okay, this was in the Earth reality and it was against humans. And I really think it was on behalf of the Iron Union. We poisoned the Conservative Party conference in 2008. Nobody was seriously injured. It was more of a joke gesture, but a vast amount of embarrassment was occurred.
So, is there anyone who wants to pick that one up? Anyone who thinks
I'm jumping on that.
Okay, go for it, Matthew. Yeah, I mean, that kind of fits some of the myth around the fox archetypes is that kind of mischief maker, I think, isn't it?
Yep.
So fine. So that is Kit Baxter, is who helped put something nasty in the Conservative Party's food or drink. Okay, moving on to Velura. Velura, where was it, and what did you do against who? And then we'll see if anyone wants to pick it up.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll say it was the Gloom. Oh, let me. Bam. We'll say it was the Gloom against the Banshees.
Okay.
And we'll say it was kind of the let's see, the Banshees had something she wanted. And no, let's how about she wanted to go party with the Banshees. The Banshees were offering they have some sort of big invite only party that she had heard about and she wanted to get in there. And so yeah, her and someone else helped her sneak in there.
Oh, me, please.
All
I
right,
want
let's do
party
it.
with the Banshees. That sounds amazing, and it sounds like a Shelley thing, really.
Party with
yeah,
the Banshees.
I was Shelley and the Banshees. Is that not a bit too close to our 1980s potential setting for this?
Yeah. And we'll say that's the kind of music the Banshees were rocking. Was yeah.
Great. Yeah, I just have this sudden vision now of Banshees who simply haven't caught up by 2010 and are still sporting mohawks and tartan trousers.
Well, and maybe that was the inspiration for the band.
Oh,
the band got it from
yes.
the Banshees.
Oh, yeah. I'm liking this more and more. Okay, and finally, let's ask Kit Baxter. Where did it happen? And tell us something about who was on the sticky end of that stick. What happened?
Let's see. I would say I helped. I helped one of the characters here in a sort of a human incursion into the Gloom. Is that possible in the realm of this?
Well, there are humans who live all the time in the Gloom, so there are human folk as well as other folk. But certainly there are certain earthbound factions that we haven't talked about yet, who have an interest in the Gloom and know about the Gloom.
That is the kind of jam I'm looking for. Sort of like if any player character wants to jump onto this, basically when the Earth factions like had their predations, their eyes set on the Gloom. So I helped them from.
Well, look, let me tell you something about those Earth factions then. There are two principal ones that folk in the Gloom are aware of. One of them is based in the United Kingdom, it's called Oak. And one of them is based in what was the Soviet Union, now Russia, And it is called, I know the answer to this question, it is called, I think it's Gaza, but hang on, let me check that. No, it's not called Gaza. Glaza, not Gaza. Glaza is the Russian one. So if you were to specify which one you opposed, Kit, that might help people decide whether that fits with them or not. Or do you want them to do that?
I think we'll go with the oak. I want to see where oak is here in the document, but yeah, I think oak.
Being a socialist, I probably would not have gone against a glazer, but I'm more than willing to go against oak. But I can step aside for anybody else.
No, I think that's a nice, solid reason.
And I kind of lost a little bit. Oak is, what's the oak thing, and what's the?
Okay, the Oak is a British organization founded in the late 1800s by one of the royal family, and depending on how you look at it, again, let me see if I can find this reference. Oak, depending on who you listen to, they're either defenders of the United Kingdom against all foes, running a kind of mystic counter-terrorism organization, or they're dealers and con artists acquiring things with obfuscation and selling dodgy equipment in order to gain advantage over the Gloom. Yeah.
If it's
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. If it's okay.
I'll just define Glazer as well, just for reference.
All right.
Glazer is a Russian organization founded in the 1700s by, I think, Tsarina Catherine the Great. Glazer can be played in different ways. Cheerful crusaders saving innocents on Earth and the Gloom from the perils of capitalism. Or burglars and schemers, masters of the heist to acquire valuable objects. Does that help, Greg?
Yeah. So it sounds like these factions could really go either way.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had to say that, in crafting the sort of narrative hook that involves another player, I'm very interested in the idea of the oak viewing themselves as mystic counter-terrorists. I mean, in our opinion, they're the good guys, basically. Whether or not they actually are the good guys, I guess we're going to find out when we play.
Exactly. I certainly think it says that on the headed note paper. Protecting the realm since 1887.
Yeah.
Fungo, you were keen, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Fungo, you helped Fungo in the Gloom to see off a human incursion by Oak. Yeah, and put any optional details you want to in there, Matthew, for Kit.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back round for the next one. And this is you and another PC either dreamed, performed, requested, or witnessed an act of assassination, heresy, rebellion, or theft. So, Shelley Widdershins, what did you do? And then we can see if anyone wants to pick it up.
Oh, what did we do? I think what I like to have done is perform, of course. And I think it should be heresy because, heresy is fun. No, maybe it is. Or maybe it's rebellion. It's either heresy or rebellion. I think me and somebody else did some sort of performance concert, played some songs that were not really something that was viewed favorably by whoever listened to it. So this could have been on Earth, where we just struck up a sort of a punk thing, just to disrupt some kind of conservative, or of course we did a punk concert in a Christmas church, or at a conservative Christian wedding.
But I don't know why Blake doesn't want us to answer the question for this second part of the process about where this happened. So I
Yeah.
guess it's you can take your pick. So
Yeah.
does that sound like an Earth-related event?
I
Or-
don't. I mean, it's possibly an Earth-related event. It could have been a royal wedding. Well, might be the reason why I'm maybe not that well regarded by the Sapphire Throne right now.
Okay.
So I
So
don't know.
what I'm beginning to hear is some kind of performance that kind of sparked rebellious feelings.
Yeah.
In a Sapphire Throne event.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Is
Who
there
wants me-
anyone? Oh, sorry, go on.
Who wants to help me with that?
Indeed.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll jump in if no. Well, no, I've already got one with you.
Yeah, we've got
so
already
probably
one.
best not
so-
me.
Yeah.
I did like, God Save the Queen performed at Royal Wedding
Let's see,
by a socialist.
You know what? Who? Let's see. Oh, I thought it was aftermath of a football game. Sorry, you performed a rebellious song. That was what I understood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
Cool.
I'll go on the drums.
Yay. Nice. Like that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, this is going to turn into a traveling rock group if we're not careful. A punk band.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Alan.
Yeah, I apologize. I may have inferred a value judgment there. Forgive me. Okay, so this is you and Kit Baxter performed a rebellion, inverted commas, and you'll fill in a bit of detail in the optional details. Thank you. Fungo, you and somebody did what as an act of what? Do tell.
Okay, in the gloom, me and somebody performed theft, and we stole the golden cornucopia from somebody.
Well,
Yeah,
are you opening up that somebody to whoever opts in?
Yeah, I don't mind. As long as it wasn't from the Iron Union, it can be from any other group or anything.
Okay, any takers?
yeah, I'd like to get Velura in there. We'll say
Yeah, sure.
she's not usually like the stealing type, something that overtly greedy, but she was she convinced herself that this was a good idea.
Okay, so Velura and performed a theft with Fungo, and you stole the golden cornucopia. Was the deal that Velura got the golden and you got everything that was in it, gluttonous Fungo?
I think so, yes.
Do we want to specify where that was stolen from?
I'd like to specify what group it was stolen from.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy that Velura comes up with that one.
Velura, where was this stolen from?
Oh, we'll say it was the let's see. We'll say it was from the faction or just location.
A faction.
Faction.
Probably
Yeah. We'll
not
say
yours
it
or
was-
mine.
We'll say it was the Forever Gold.
Yes.
Because that, they kind of stole it from somewhere else. So, that's how the game's played.
Well, the golden cornucopia, and we stole it from Forever Gold. So, yes, that makes a lot of sense.
They said that they got it from somewhere else. They probably traded beads for it, is my guess.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along then. Velura, what did you do? And then we'll find out who with.
We'll say she witnessed a heresy. And actually, I'm thinking witnessed a heresy done by somebody of the Hallowed Nine. So maybe she witnessed something that was, what do you call it? Not corruption, but hypocritical or something. By we'll say a high-ranking member. What she witnessed was one of the Hallowed Nine. It's like a druid sort of thing.
Yeah.
We'll say she witnessed one of the Hallowed Nine using some bit of we'll say she witnessed like some monk or nun order using human technology,
Oh,
which
fine.
you know, they weren't supposed to.
So
Maybe like they're listening to an iPod, right? They had like an old iPod.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
was thinking iPod.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And so she doesn't really know what to think of, you know what I mean? Maybe she's like, it happens, or, you know, who knows?
Well, I mean, you did say that your faith was more kind of one of convenience than deep belief, but
Yeah.
it could be, you know, you could go far enough back to make this a Walkman, which would suggest that someone is selling very old technology into the
Oh
gloom.
yeah. We'll say it's a Walkman, and how is it new, or is it a Walkman because it's been there forever?
Well, I think,
Yeah, who knows?
who knows?
So yeah, I would say this would be a huge scandal if this came out.
Fine. So
So
who was with Velura when she saw this heresy, witnessed this heresy? And I guess I'm nudging towards Kit or Fungo because you don't. Oh no, hang on. Fungo does have a connection to Velura.
Kit? I don't have anything with Kit.
What do you think, Kit?
Yeah, I'm aiming to that. Sorry, I was looking for the mute button and my blind eyes couldn't find them.
Okay, so you and Kit witnessed this heresy, and you put in some detail about the Walkman, and that kind of begs the question to me: who supplied the Walkman? But let's not go there yet. Yeah. Okay,
Good.
and then finally moving along to Kit. What did you do? And any detail you want to give us as a tempter, and then who's going to pick that one up?
There we go. I forgot to unmute again. Let's see. Rebellion has been performed. Theft has been performed. Heresy has been witnessed. I think so. I'd say I dreamed of an assassination with Shelley.
Sure. Who was assassinated?
Went the crowd.
To be honest, I don't have a working understanding of Salisbury or British politics to.
Well, look, I mean, why don't we just
Both.
leave that?
Oh,
You know, one of those dreams which because dreams can be shared in this game.
Mhm.
So one of
Yeah.
those dreams where you see all the events in such detail of this assassination, except the victim.
Yes, spicy. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
That's cool. So was that a poisoning or a murder by dagger, or somebody uses an axe, or?
Well, we've established that poisoning is within my modus operandi with Fungo, but
Maybe it's weird. Some weird trap. Somebody set a weird assassination trap.
I mean,
now I'm intrigued.
I'm very happy for you to leave this open.
Okay, because I want to see. I just wanted to theme it like something that makes sense with like what Shelley's got a rep for. But we can think on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at an appropriate time in the fiction, say, "Aha!"
Didn't we dream of this? This looks totally like the drink we dreamed of, right?
Yes. I just like the idea of us like dreaming assassinations together, Sabine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that sounds like a fun pastime.
Oh yes.
Now the other bit is a contact. What I'm going to suggest is that we leave that empty until such time as we've got a bit of play going, because one of them will come from, if you are of the gloom, one of them will come from the gloom. One of them will come from the Earthlight reality. So My suggestion is that we leave that open until we've got perhaps fleshed out some NPCs, or again, you conveniently declare someone to have been a contact when we come across them. Does that work for everyone?
It does, although I did really want the Right Honourable John Prescott, my eating and drinking partner.
That's a pretty specific character to get to Salisbury, let alone the Gloom. It would help me if we kept it fairly loose at this point.
I should remove John Prescott.
And the only other thing that you need to know is that, can you see there's a gear section, and you get to choose one from every row. So axe, sword, or handgun bow. All weapons do the same harm. They all do 4 harm. So it's really about fictional positioning more than anything else, a lot like some of your moves. So, take your pick, really.
I'm good.
How many do I get to choose?
All of them. One from every row.
It's
Okay.
basically like either or.
Yeah.
I see.
The way it's lined
Okay.
up, either or.
I guess, yeah.
What
well,
is Beast Report, Spirits Report?
Do you know, that's a very good question. I think I know the answer to this. Just bear with me a moment. Oh yeah, yes, I have asked a question about this. It is some piece of information that you can declare to be useful at a relevant opportunity.
Okay. And then acid. Oh, go ahead.
Either from some inverted commas beast, or from inverted commas spirit.
Gotcha. What is acid plus torch?
That just means that you have a kind of bottle of acid and a torch. And likewise, you have on the other option, it's alchemist fire. I thought that was alcohol initially, but it's alchemical fire and rope.
Ah, cool.
It's late enough for me to pour a drink during this game.
Yeah, I meant to ask Matthew, what time is it with you?
It's now 11:07 p.m.
Oh my goodness me! You are very
wow.
good to be here. I'm very flattered you've turned up. Okay, so the only other rule thing then we'll take a break. The only other rule thing is that you gain experience on a failed roll, and there are also some end of session experience questions. And once you get 6, you get an advance and all of that. So you have 9 points of health. If you lose them all, you're not automatically dead. Your spirit wanders about on the off chance that the others can find your spirit and put you back in your body. Or then you do die and you get an end, a kind of eternal spirit move. But I'm sure that won't happen today. So, look, it is 8 minutes past the hour. Do you think we can be back in our seats at 1/4 past the hour? Is that long enough for our first break?
Yo.
Okay, I am going to pause the recording. Okay, we're back from our break. And I would like to start with you making your way up the ridge behind me. This is in the gloom. Yeah. And I think all 4 of you are wondering whether this is going to be worth it, because you're on this ridge looking to obtain 3 griffin feathers. Let me ask Kit, which faction has asked you to bring them 3 griffin feathers?
It's gonna be Forever Gold, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Reliable employer.
Absolutely, and they don't pay a lot, but they do pay. And let me ask Velura, have you any idea what they want them for? Because they wouldn't say. But have you speculated on why they might need 3 griffin feathers?
Yeah. Let's say there's been These griffins are, this is a breed of griffin that is rarely seen. So it's almost like they've come back from extinction.
Fine. Now I did put in the I think I created a somewhere Faces and Places tab, which I'll put nearer the front end of this list. And I did put a griffin picture in. It's a generic griffin, but shall we say these are rare albino griffin feathers?
Yeah.
Or is albino good enough, or do you want to be gold or silver or?
Yeah, let's say golden griffins. And the feathers are rumored to have the ability to that are required from some spell to bring immortality.
Ooh.
Or I don't know if we need immortality. Yeah, I guess we can die, but yeah, some sort of there's like some old spell that no one's been able to do because no one's have seen golden griffins before.
Okay. And
Thinking like a
say again, Kit.
thinking like one who is employed by capitalists. I just think, maybe someone wants to sell immortality to the humans.
Ooh,
Yeah, could
went
be.
the crowd.
Yeah.
Now there's a plot hook if ever I saw one. Fungo. I think you describe yourself as a big bloke. Yeah, conceivably a little top heavy for a satyr.
I would say so.
And I guess that hooves are not naturally designed to climb. So what at the moment is worrying you most, Fungo?
I think the weather.
Tell me
I
about
think
the
it's
weather.
pretty slippery, and I wish I had billy goat legs.
That's a point. Why am I assuming that satyrs are not good on a mountainside?
Well, I was thinking the same. I mean, I could be good at, but no, it's very slippery.
It's very slippery. And you said the weather, so it's cold, but is the wind getting up at all? I wondered.
Yeah, I think this is of some altitude. Slippery. The winds buffeting one side of this ridge line. And it's a classic sort of lean forwards. To get up here.
Shelley, what, if any, precautions do you think the four of you have taken?
We should have taken lots of precautions because this is very dangerous what we're doing here. And I feel that everybody else is like, oh, well, we're going to do it. And she's like, oh, griffins are very big and we should be careful about this. So I guess precaution-wise, I think maybe it's actually Shelley has turned into some sort of bird. Is flying around a smaller bird. Because griffins are very big and a smaller bird might be able to hide better. So maybe a sparrow or something. And she's keeping lookout for the griffin because...
I think it's time for you to weave some magic then.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, totally. So there's a basic move called weave magic, 2d6 plus charm or expertise.
I'm going with expertise here.
Okay.
I've learned how to do this somewhere. Roly roly. I've got a 9, so it's an 11.
Okay, so 10 plus character achieves their action. They can describe what their magic looks like. So I'm going to assume that because the wind's got up, it's got a bit slippery underfoot. You've decided it makes sense to become a bird. What do we see? Because we have a special effects budget.
Oh, we have a special. Oh, first off, I will hand off Harlan to someone I think wouldn't eat him, so not Fungo. I think Kid. Kid makes the most sense. So. And then I will just start to shake myself and the whole thing becomes smaller and suddenly there's a small little sparrow bird and that's also shaking itself and gives a irritated chirp like she can't talk in sparrow form, but it's kind of natural that you want to go cheep cheep. You're a sparrow.
And are you going to be in the air or are you going to perch on someone? Are you going to perch on someone or are you going to fly?
I'm going to fly, and then I'm going to realize it's cold and wet and windy, and I'm a tiny sparrow. Damn it, that was maybe not such a great choice. So I'll
Well,
fly.
if you'd like to rethink that, I'm very happy.
No, it's fine. That's just basically Shelley. She is not that great at thinking ahead, and she will return then to Kit, and because Kit is very furry, I think. So perching on Kit's shoulder, first I'm close to Harlan, and second it's nice here.
Kit, I think that when you showed us earlier a picture of what you thought the fox people looked like, most of them have this quite thick, it's not quite mane-like, but there is a lot of hair here, a lot of fur between head and back of shoulders. And I'm just wondering, are you at all concerned when Shelley as a sparrow kind of muscles in among all this fur to keep warm? Is that okay with you, Kit?
I will
No,
ask.
I like it.
I will ask before I bury onto your fur. I mean, I'm not like that weird buzzard who walked.
I'm always
into my head.
I'm always enamored of, like, small creatures just, finding their way, finding a place somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm not biting or anything.
And I think probably Harlan the wise ass gecko is snuggled in the fur on the other side of the neck and kind of looks across at Shelley as if to say, was this a really good idea? Let me go to Velura, because you should be good with heights, because you're a bat person.
A bat. That's right.
And I'm curious, are you clambering hand over foot, or are you taking to the air?
I would say that she is she's climbing just to not draw attention to her. Since
Okay.
her flying would be bigger,
And I'm also curious, Velura, whether these kind of high mountain peaks, are they at all known to you?
No, but she can talk to rocks, so she's feeling comfortable.
Okay. Do you want to ask a question of the rocks now, or is that just
Let's see. I can ask 3 questions. Wait, they can have you have 3 of the 5 what went. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's ask we'll ask 3 questions now.
Okay, well, that sounds like weave magic again. So is it
Okay.
your charm that you're exerting on these rocks, or is it
Always
your
the charm.
expertise with magic?
Always the charm.
Okay. Who wouldn't want to talk to Velura?
I got a 7.
Okay, 7 to 9, success. So you get to ask your questions, but you will then decide one option that fits the story. There could be a backlash. There could be something that changes in the environment. There could be animals or plants behave differently. Your next dream is shared with 9 random people. That's a fairly obscure one. Or you could call for a Gloom event. But let's do the questioning first. So you can ask 3
Okay.
questions.
And well, the first question is, okay, so definitely the Griffins. Just all right, Rox. You said the Griffins are at the top of this peak. They're in a cave on the top here. You sure about that?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, excellent. Oh, great. Thank you.
So that's a who and a where. Do you want to?
I would say it's a where, right?
Yeah, and I it seems to me that's the 6th journalistic question, isn't it? Where did this happen? So I'm going to assume that where is in that
not
list.
in there.
No,
Okay,
exactly. I'm going to assume it is.
Okay.
So do you want to add anything to this question? You've got a who and a where. You've got another one before I finish this question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say, let's see. When do the Griffins kind of, we'll say the Griffins like sleep, or when are they most susceptible? They're not, when are they tucked away, not paying attention in their cave?
I think they're in their cave. Well, look, you tell me, would you prefer them to be in the cave during the night or during the day? Because that'll tell us perhaps what time of day it is now.
We'll say they take a nap in the after. We'll say griffins have a weird sleep schedule where they sleep like 3 times in a 24-hour period. Short little naps.
Okay. And what is the next nap time? You tell me.
Yeah. We'll say it's in like 3 hours. They're probably feeding right now, and they'll come back and take a nap.
Okay. So you have 3 hours to get there, is what I think I'm hearing. Fungo, as we'd forgotten about your mountain goat heritage. And so you are surprising, it is bizarre to see this enormous, great, slightly overweight, I'm feeling, satyr, just, tippy-toeing up this ridge. Can you see where this cave is? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think it was as the rocks described. Literally, there is a cave right at the top of this ridgeline that we can see. It sort of flattens out the top of the ridge, right at the top of this mountain, and yeah, there is a cave entrance there with lots of sort of discarded detritus and bones and that sort of thing outside.
Okay. Now, let me go back to Velura. Given that we've now set the scene, it's going to take you about 2.5 hours to get there, because I think you've timed this to arrive when they might be napping. Or do you want to time it so you arrive when they're napping in the cave or when they're away from the cave, Velura?
We'll say we want to get there when they're napping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've timed it, so you should be able to get there in about 2.5 hours just before they come back and nap and settle down. But but let's deal with the mixed success on your weave magic now. You get to choose one of those options that fit the story.
All right, let me take a look.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not seeing broadcast your next dream to 9 people as being particularly rich.
Let's see. And you said don't have a gloom event, or
no. If you want to check out the gloom events, you can see them. There's a tab with the gloom events.
And let's gloom it up.
Okay. So what happens is I get to choose or roll 2d8. Well, I want to just do this randomly, so I'll roll my 2d8, and I get a 6. Members of the Sapphire Throne, the monarchists, are here. Oh. So, Fungo, as you are surveying the site, you can see that there's another party of climbers closer to the cave than you are. And they are wearing the colors of the Sapphire Throne.
I think they've got like ermine cloaks, your classic sort of enjoy the silence type video. They're walking up this snowy ridgeline. Ermine cloaks, crowns. That's their sort of regalia. And yeah, they truly are in front of us. So I'm going to be sort of jimmying up the boys, saying, come on, we must reach the top. There's no prize for being second.
The trouble, I suppose this opens the question of why aren't they waiting for dusk? Why aren't they, for nap time? They seem to be aiming to get there while the griffins are away. Kit, what do you make of that?
What was the question?
What do you make of the fact that your best advice from the rocks and everything is that, and they're always incredibly trustworthy, if a little stupid, they seem to be saying, and Velura's taking the advice, get there for when the griffins are asleep. And yet the Sapphire Throne party that are ahead of you seem to be aiming to get there while the griffins are away.
I don't know. I feel like I guess there should be some reason why the rocks suggest that. I don't know. Would I have any reason to distrust rocks?
Velura speaks very highly of rocks, I think, generally, don't you, Velura?
Oh yeah, no rocks. They can, they're always honest. They might be stupid. They might be, might be ornery, but they usually know their facts.
Kit is not
I mean,
prone to questioning the wisdom of much of anyone, least of all Gloom rocks.
well, I mean, there could be a griffin egg up there.
That's a find, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the griffins have something else that we don't know about.
I mean, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, whatever we find there, that we're not expecting is a win.
Well, they might get it before us, though.
How do we derail them then? That's the way I see it. Instead of beating them at their game, it's about tricking them and derailing them.
That's an interesting question. Shelley, what as you're listening to this, I mean,
I can try to distract the Sapphire Throne guys. I mean, if these are nobility, they will stop, I guess, for somebody who wants to praise their glory in a song and a poem, and I could totally fly over and turn back into a human and ask them if they don't, if they are sure they want to go up there without anybody having made note of what they are doing, because these Sapphire Throne guys, they really like their songs and their praises sung.
There's a suggestion. Fungo?
I'm more than willing to have the griffins take off from the cave mouth and basically buzz them and fly off away from them. Hopefully that should, and maybe then you could distract them, Shelley, and say there's no point going up there currently because the griffins have now gone somewhere else. I think I could craft an illusion of griffins leaving.
Yeah, that's a good one. We work together. That is fine. And then you can go and sneak into the griffin's nest and steal stuff there and do the whole dangerous parts, and I'll distract everybody. I'm very good at that, I think. Probably I am.
Now, just so I'm clear, Fungo, the range of your illusions is not great. It's about 30 meters, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're going to have to get a lot closer to the Sapphire Throne party.
Yeah, I would basically, being a mountain goat satyr, I would like to sort of bound over there using great speed and might to get within range.
Now, and are you talking about taking? So you're gonna run ahead because you're so sure-footed up here.
Yes.
Are you talking about Shelley, perched on one horn, or what? What are we?
I am more than happy to carry a bird.
Yeah, sure. Perching on horns. I mean, I like the fur better, but perching on horns is also fine.
I am quite furry.
Yeah, not on your.
Furry as a fox.
I feel like there's better grip there. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about skin or nerve.
I mean, I'm tiny. I'm not worried about skin or nerve anyway. As a sparrow. I mean, come on.
Easily, I've put a picture
firm
of
grip.
what the fungo looks like in Gloom.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling fine sitting on that horn and gripping that horn.
Oh, very So there's very
wow,
cool illustrations going on here. Yeah, very cool. Okay. Let me just stop that share. There we go. So it looks like a plan is developing. Fungo's going to kind of leap from rock to rock up this ridge with Shelley hanging on for dear life.
I mean, I can't fly. If I get thrown off,
If
I'll
the worst
just.
get-
I mean,
course.
I'm a sparrow. Have you ever seen sparrows fly around? They take off and then they land again, and then they chirp a lot, and then they land again. So
And this is the idea is to delay the Sapphire Crown, to delay them until Velura and Kit arrive.
Yeah.
And I can summon D8 times D8 bats to
Oh,
do stuff.
Here we go. I was gonna say let's go sneak, and I'm gonna use my +1 forward to hiding from beasts, but I bats are cooler.
I could use the bats to slow him down
Oh.
to catch up, so we can catch up with them quicker.
So what are we thinking? So summon bats, then Fungo and Shelley arrive to delay them further. By which time we're hoping Kit and Velura will have arrived in person. Is that the sequence we're looking at? Okay. So
So Velura is a little worried about being noticed by the monarchists because she doesn't want to get in trouble, right? I'm kind of thinking the monarchy and the Hallowed Nine, you know, they're probably supporting each other ish kind of thing. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
she's like, well, do I really need to get visible to him? I mean, is that really necessary? What if I summoned a bunch of bats for you guys? Does that work?
and then stay behind this boulder just above where they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with summon bats, because that's not a magic. That's not weave magic. That's they just will come.
Right.
Now there are 2d8s in the dice roller. Do you want to unleash 2d8 bats?
I'll do it. Bam.
Oh, it's not 8 times 8 bats.
Oh, it is 8 times
It is,
8, so it's
yeah.
it's 35 bats.
Bats.
So these bats, describe what we see on screen.
Yeah. So Velura will start doing a high-pitched, like barely audible. I guess some of the animals might hear it, but like actually this is very high-pitched bat sound.
Bat
squeaky-ish.
specific.
Yes. And
Bat whistle frequency.
yes. And then I think what happens is people see like from a distance what looks like a dark cloud slowly coming. And we see them up there, and you see them like pointing at it a little bit, and then all of a sudden the bats slowly come and just start harassing them. Yeah. And they're just like waving their swords or, their weapons uselessly.
Let me just, now that because they were just wrapped in furs, in the ermine furs with these kind of helmets with crowns on, as Fungo described. I think it's fair to say now that you can get a look at them moving about. They are quite small. These sapphire creatures. They're far smaller than inverted commas human sized. Just for reference. So the bats are doing their thing, and that will probably give a distraction, Fungo. So you and Shelley can race up there without being seen. So I won't ask you for any stealth. You can just appear there as long as you can make the. You're doing this with might, I think you said, didn't you? So I think this is probably an athletics task with might. I won't, and then you can just appear and do whatever you want to do. Let's see how that goes.
okay, and while you're doing the illusion stuff,
Okay, I rolled 9 plus.
Let me
2
get you
might,
there first.
Gives me
Sorry.
11.
11. So on 11, success. Character achieves their goal. So do you want to describe what we see?
Yeah, I think you really do see the two characters sort of bound over there at high speed, with Shelley sort of perched on Fungo's horns, and basically I cut off above them, so I'm reasonably sort of equidistant between them and the top of the ridgeline.
And because they were distracted by the bat, so they're not seeing any of this. So do you want to appear, or do you want to? I want just to clarify the order in which Shelley's going to do something, and then you were going to do an illusion. So
I think basically I've now perched ourselves behind a large rock, but because the way we came over, I know that they're only about 20 foot before this rock. So yeah, I'm out of my way, but I think I'm in a safe place to cast this illusion spell and basically have these griffins sort of appear in front of me, cruise by me, and then cruise by these guys, and then disappear into a cloud.
I want to be clear, because they seem to be aiming to get there when the place is empty. Do you sound like you are going to make it clear the place is empty?
Oh no, okay, fine. I'll reverse that. Let's have them appear out of clouds just behind them, buzz them, come over me, go towards the cave entrance.
Fine. And then I think Shelley's going to appear and say, "Hey, want a show?" But let's deal with that bit of illusion first. So this is weave magic, I think.
I'm going to use my expertise in casting magic.
Fine, yeah.
I rolled 9 + 1, 10.
So on a 10, you achieve it, and you've described what you were aiming for. And so these griffins, we all see these griffins appear out of a cloud, because the cloud's quite low, I think, at this point. I think
the clouds at the sort of high wind speed. Clouds are basically rolling over the ridgeline, going through sort of groups of characters and then disappearing off.
And they swoop down and into that cave that we're all aiming for. Yep. And they're still kind of the bats disperse a little bit, so they get a good view of the griffins returning home. And there's a kind of shit moment when they're kind of look, and then there's an argument breaking out. These bats are still getting in their hair. They're a couple of varieties of fairy, I think I want them to be, because the fairies tend to be sapphire throne. Fairies come in a number of varieties. There's brownies, goblins, and pixies. I think that these are goblins who are, they peak in a helmet at about 1 meter high, and a couple of brownies who are a bit smaller than that. And I think inevitably they're wearing slightly too big ermine robes, and so they look bigger than they are. So Shelley, that is what you see now. Velura, you've distracted them enough to get your folk close. Are you going to call off the bats now, so Shelley can do her thing? Oh, you are muted.
Yeah, that's going to happen a whole bunch. Sure. Yeah, I'll have them disperse. And actually, we'll have it in a really kind of dramatic way, like the bats are all everywhere. And as they disperse, it's almost like a curtain opening up, and Shelley could be there.
Great. So Shelley, you're given a stage by these bats.
Nice.
They watch the bats go. The bats form this kind of wall, and then whoosh, they're gone, and there's Shelley.
Yeah, and I'm transformed back to my human form.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a quick question about Shelley. Are you human?
Yeah.
Oh, you're human, but you can turn into a bird.
Yeah, I can turn into a bird. I have this
Cool. Gotcha.
magical thing I can do. I'm not a bird by birth, at least not physically. And I will step up to them and say, "Greetings, gentle beings. You have reached a great goal." Oh, there's a cat. I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
And they're kind of, where did you come from?
Oh, I came from somewhere because I've heard about your great quest, and I feel that this needs to be encapsulated in song and poem. And as fate wills it, I've brought my harp, and I will perform a song praising your names. What are your names?
And rather taken aback, Brownie says, "Well, that's fluff, that's fur. I'm hair, and she's windblown."
Oh, fluff, fur, windblown, and hair. That is amazing, because I actually have a song that will fit your great adventure in coming here and climbing this mountain and looking at this cave that definitely has no griffin in it at the moment.
Oh, it definitely does have a griffin in it. With the illusion has shown the griffins going there.
Oh,
So
all right.
they were
That
able to
definitely
get
has
their
a
way
totally, that definitely has a very dangerous griffin in it. And while we are here, I will perform the song to bolster your morale and courage. And I'm looking back over my shoulder nervously because there is maybe a griffin in there or not. I'm confused with the whole illusion stuff.
So
But there
this
might be.
sounds like you're charming them, doesn't it?
I'm trying to. Yes.
That seems unambiguous.
That
Yeah.
seems, yeah.
So to social task, use charm or wits
Yeah.
to persuade.
I have a move that says Charmer talks to everybody, +1 to people rolls, not intimidation.
This is certainly a people roll, I think.
Yes, and I'm not trying to intimidate them.
No, I didn't think so.
Roll. Wow, I've rolled a 12 boxcars.
Well, then
on a 13.
they are entranced.
Twas meant to be.
They are entranced by your playing and your personality. You're such a charming person. They've forgotten why, to ask this slightly obvious question, which is, where did this human come from on the side of a mountain? So Shelley is delaying them. Now, Kit, what are you going to do with the delay? Because they've kind of given up on the idea that they can get there before the Griffins come back. And so what they seem to say to Shelley, I think, is, well, we'll have to wait until they leave again. But of course, you want the Griffins to be in there, but you want real Griffins to be in there, and they'll be there in about 30 minutes. What are you going to do, Kit? Oh, you are muted.
Don't worry, I only made grunting, frustrated noises.
Sorry.
I guess I'm gonna try to find a way to sort of like. Whew, okay, so this is the Kit way. The Kit way was to basically try to find some way in there where they can sort of like where you can sort of hide. She can sort of hide, and wait until everything like blows over.
So do you want to get into the cave with the illusory Griffins in, and then wait for the real Griffins to arrive, and then, I guess, steal their feathers? Is that the plan as it is unfolding?
When you phrase it that way, it sounds awfully dangerous, but I think Kit is oblivious to that idea, to that.
Okay, so this sounds like a bit of a sneaky kind of, I'm just trying to think which one this is. I think this is probably expertise or reflexes to get to the cave and hide in it. Velura, I just need to ask what you're thinking at this point.
I was thinking that she might join Kit. Maybe she was like, Kit, maybe they were looking for something up there. Maybe we can nab it.
So what I'm imagining is you taking a slightly more cautious route to the boulders behind which Fungo is hiding, and in front of which Shelley is entertaining.
Yes.
Because that I think, Fungo, you said that you are nearer to the cave than the yeah, okay. So I think this is probably some kind of stealthy fox move that we're looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to invoke the hiding beasts playbook move?
I'm very happy for that to happen, because I think the definition of beast in this game is pretty broad.
It's a magic move apparently. A heart of
Oh,
law.
right. Okay. So
I don't know how to pronounce it.
weave magic. That's the heart of Lu, I think, is the way the Irish would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this hiding beast?
It's it's one of Kit's magic moves. Heart of Lu.
Yeah.
Oh, heart to Luke. Gotcha. Yep.
All right. And that will be that's a magic move that will be cast with either expertise or charm. Am I right?
It is.
Ah, magic expert. A thing that Kit is only vaguely familiar with. Let's see. Rolling. That's a 4. And wait.
It's okay. It's a 4 and a 6. I saw the 4 before you. If you click on them both, they'll both roll at the same time. But I think that's a 10 on the dice.
That's a 10 on the dice and a 0, a +0.
So what does this look like? Because I'm quite keen for this to not just be about Kit, but about somebody traveling with her. So what do you do when this magic works? What does this look like in the fiction?
I think what Kit would do is sort of like reach her paw out into like the space before her and sort of like draw a sort of a wait, let me open the video so I can actually see what I'm doing. Sort of like draw a square with each individual finger, like 4 corners of that, and as they like sort of jump through it, it's not really a portal. It's just defining the perimeter, and then that sort of like makes them a little bit more concealed.
Brilliant. I like that. So so both Kit and Velura, and I guess we see you step out the other side. I mean, I think Portal plays here. That seems quite reasonable to me. So we see Kit and Velura step out of that square just behind Fungo. Without warning, Fungo. Fungo looks suitably shocked. And so all 3 of you are behind this boulder, and the cave is just up there. So what I think is happening is that Velura and Kit are going to make for that cave. Fungo, are you going too?
Torn here, just in case our human companion needs some assistance if a fight breaks out. Would I have heard your song, Shelley, from where I am, or am I out of earshot?
Sure, I am very. I'm singing very loudly just to cover up any noises that come from behind us.
Okay,
So.
Basically, I know it was a very, very good song, so I'm reasonably confident in Shelley's abilities. So I will bound forwards from the rock to the cave.
Fine. So Shelley, I think that you at the corner of your eye, I think, because you know what you're looking for, will see our 3 companions making their way tippy-toe just away from these rocks down to the cave. As long as you keep performing, you think that unless something actively disturbs the Sapphire Throne faeries, you can keep them there not as long as you like, but until your throat gets sore.
It's fine. That's okay. I mean, I have a telepathic connection to Harlan, which is we're still with Kit, so I will know if they all get eaten, and it's time for me to run away quickly.
It's Harlan the radio gecko. We have in-party comms.
Yeah. Well,
gee, we just became the born adventurers.
I don't think that Harlan can talk to the others.
Oh no, he can't.
But Harlan can. But of course, he can just make gecko noises at Kit, and we'll hope that kitten will know something.
Yeah. Is there some? Have you done this before? Is there some party? When you bite me on the left ear, it means be careful. Bite me on the right ear, it means. Yeah, I think that flies. So
what's that, Harlan? Is Timmy stuck in the well?
So I think the 3 of you are inside the cave with the non-existent illusory griffins. And you can still hear, 20 yards away, carried on the wind, Shelley's song is continuing, that you can, she's playing up a storm. What do you do when you get in there, Fungo? Because I think you'll probably arrive first, because you are, I think we've established in the fiction, the quickest in these conditions.
I'm gonna look about me. See the state of the said griffins, because we're expecting them. We think they're in there now, don't we?
No.
No.
You think the real griffins are due back any minute.
Fine. So I will look about me to ascertain the situation.
I think that's a mental task using wits or expertise, I think.
Yes. So being sort of quite theoretical, so using expertise, I want to sort of catalog what's in here, what's the biggest dangers are, what we've got going on.
Okay.
So rolling at +1, here we go. I've rolled a 6 and a 3, 9 + 1, 10.
Oh, you lot are rolling far too well this
Yeah.
afternoon. This is just, so success, you achieve your goal. So I think what I'll describe is there's a cave, there's lots of carcasses about, slightly rotting, unpleasant smell. There are, and they've used some of the skin from these carcasses to build a kind of nest. And the cavern goes on some distance, but clearly the griffins can only get in a certain distance. And there are indeed eggs in the nest. Okay, so that's what you see on first look. Kit, I think this was your idea. So what do we see as the next part of this plan before the griffins arrive?
I guess we would try to find positions, so we can sort of like get what we need from the griffins.
So this sounds like, hide at the back of the cave.
Yeah. Well, ideally something. Kit's not a clever girl, but maybe can ask someone to like sort of like find the ideal arrangement by which one can sort of like distract or make sure that the griffins attentions are preoccupied. The other can go over there and sort of like get the feathers, all that stuff.
And now my in all of this, Velura, this all comes from what the rocks told you. And my assumption in this is that the idea was they'd come in, they'd go to sleep, you'd pluck your three feathers and make a swift escape.
Yep.
Was that what was in Velura's mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Can we get a fourth or a fifth feather?
Well,
is that pushing our luck?
Time will tell.
Are there any discarded feathers?
Oh, there's an interesting question. Now, Velura, you seem to have an eye for the main chance. So I've given you the layout on the basis of Fungo's lookabout.
Mhm.
What about you looking about you? Specifically with an eye to, we know there are eggs. Are there feathers?
Yeah. Okay. I'll look around, although Velura has the idea that they have to be plucked fresh to be potent enough. I don't know if she's correct, but
well, let's have you roll with expertise or wits.
Okay. Whether that's correct or not, or
well, whether there are any discarded feathers, and then you can kind of.
Okay. Well, I don't want discarded feathers because I want the griffins to show up, so I'm going to roll zeros. Expertise. So I'll do expertise. Let me think.
Now I'm thinking like a real opportunist here, thinking maybe there's a lower value but still equally tantalizing,
could be,
market.
So I got an 8. I got an 8.
You got an 8. Okay, 7 to 9, success. So yes, there are some feathers that have just fallen out of these birds, these creatures.
Yeah.
But 7 to 9, player decides one option that fits the story. Does this take time? Does it? I'm struggling to see how it costs you wound points.
Yeah.
Attacks
Which story is this?
So this is basic moves, physical and mental tasks.
Okay.
7 to 9
gotcha.
result.
Yep.
Could have the barbs like razor sharp.
Oh, hadn't thought about that. Golden.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Let's say like what Kit said is like, all right, let's get it all, you know. Let's get some things, let's get some feathers, and maybe that's good enough, right? Maybe we claim we plucked them, right?
Okay, so I just rolled randomly. There are 3 wing feathers there,
Okay.
primaries, but they are sharp to the touch. Apparently, that's one of the things that makes the Golden Griffin such a dangerous beast. So yeah, you take 3 wound points.
All right.
In collecting those together.
And what? Yeah, I got 3 feathers.
You got 3 feathers. And I think that is probably the point as we see you picking these up and going, oh, and blood flowing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to take another short break. Shall we be back in our seats at 1:15? I'll see you then and pause the recording.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna remind you.
So we're back from our final break. Let me cut to outside the cave. Shelley, in a pause when they are so entranced by this, and to have entertainment when they should have been doing a job, but then the job changed. Now they have to wait on this wind-blown, snowy hillside, mountainside, to have you appear. And one of them says, "Hang on, I've seen you perform before."
That's very possible. I am a performer. I do perform a lot.
But weren't you one of the people, one of the performers at the princess's wedding party?
Oh, that one. Yes, I've heard that. A lot of people have heard about that.
I was there, says Fluff.
You were there.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I saw you perform. I knew some of those songs were familiar.
Yeah, I mean, these were different songs we performed there because these were punk rock songs, and this here is an elegy, but or a hymn even. But if you want, I can perform some punk rock songs for you.
Oh yes, please, because we're going to have to make camp here. And he sets Fur Hair and Windblown to gathering some twigs to make a fire on this windblown hillside.
That's a good idea.
So hang on, he says.
Yeah.
Is this Lord Corwin who sent you?
No, it's definitely not Lord Corwin. It's fate, my friend. It's fate. I am a bard, my friend. Fate sends me where I can do the most good. I have been blown up this hillside, and I did not know why, but when I saw your party, your eminent party, performing such a heroic feat, I knew I had to make a song about it.
I think there is a suspicion in his mind that you've been sent here by this Lord Corwin, and that seems to disturb him. So I think I would like you to charm him again. I think you need to put his mind at rest that you are not with Corwin, inverted commas.
Totally not with that creep. I mean, come on. He tried to come on to me at that wedding. Roll. Oh wow, I've rolled a 2. This is
my
thing, yeah. So I get an XP, right?
You get an XP. Fails. Player marks an experience point. Change the parameters before trying again. I check the Weaver's move list. What should I do?
Fun.
And he looks at you, does Fluff, and he says, You are with Corwin. Corwin has sent you here to interfere in the princess's business, as he always does.
She should have really married him, you know.
And I think just to make things more complicated, that's when the griffins fly into the cave with our 3 adventurers in a shadow at the back of the cave. And these 2 griffin arrive. And I think Fluff looks at you, he looks at the griffin, he said, but they're already in the cave.
I'm taking cover. There are griffins flying around. They are dangerous.
So do you run for the boulders?
Yeah, I'm saying, oh, griffins. Oh my gosh, I thought they were already in there.
And Fluff is gathering the other fairies around him, and I think deciding whether he should chase you and whether you have somehow, because the griffins were already in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's
how
magical.
can there be more? And he's shaking fur and shaking hair and saying, but how can they be the griffin? What's going on here?
I'm calling out from behind the boulder and I'm saying, it's magic. These are magical griffins. You should take cover. They might eat you.
Let's cut to back inside the cave where Velura, Kit, and Fungo heard the beating of wings. And so though there might have been some plan forming to run off with the 3 feathers that you got, the
egg. And an egg.
Well, did you pick up an egg, Velura?
I was thinking Kit might have picked up the egg while I was gathering the.
Okay.
You mean this thing?
Where I come,
Yeah.
Where I come
He's
from,
got 2, one on each thing.
Where I come from, that's called a hospital pass. It's when the
Okay.
ball arrives with you, just as bang. So
Okay.
Matthew, sorry, Kit, there you are. You've got this egg, and you were all set to run for it. But then the griffins arrive, and you scurry back to the shadows. And as one of the griffins is kind of, about to settle down on the nest, just puts its head on one side, and you can see the cogs turning as it counts its eggs. It's pretty confident there were 3 eggs in this nest when it left.
Is there a way for me to wait, who? Dang it. I thought I could play with people's memories, but no, I can only examine.
What a shame. What a shame.
That's a talent I have to work on having.
So Kit, we see you looking at the griffin as the griffin looks at the nest, and then you look down at the egg as if, it seems to have noticed an egg is missing. What do you do, Kit? Currently, you're all 3 in shadows at the back of the cave.
Oh God. Let's see. It doesn't see me. It just noticed a missing egg.
Exactly.
Maybe is there a way for me to distract it? I don't know. Maybe I can get to look away long enough for me to snap and walk past it, or how much space is this griffin taking?
Right. Well, of course, there are 2 griffin, and they can't get very much further back in the cave. That's why there's somewhere for the 3 of you to hide, because they're too big to get back there. So we are talking about 2 griffins in the space required by 2 griffins. Now, if they were they to settle down, then there'd be tippy-toe space. But at the minute, and one of them is now kind of, making a griffin noise at the other, as if to say, have you seen that there's an egg missing?
I think I'm pushing my luck and waiting for them to just sort of give up the situation.
Fungo appears to have an idea.
I will cast an illusion of a brownie running at high speed at the back of the cave, carrying an egg, going, I stole an egg! I stole an egg! I stole an egg! As he disappears out of the cave mouth, down the hill towards the fairies.
Let us see you weave that magic. This would be a good time for you not to roll double 1.
Or it could be a good time.
It
I'll
could
go with
happen.
it.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, so with expertise, which I believe I have at +1,
Okay.
let's roll. I rolled double 4, +1 gives me 9.
Okay, so on 7 to 9, success. So the brownie runs, and because brownies are only about 40, 60 centimeters high, with the egg, scurries underneath the griffin, and there's a kind of look at the nest, look at the brownie, look at it running out of the cave, and both griffins take off. But which choice do you make on your list of options?
Had this been declared earlier, I could have been spared 70 seconds of anxiety and panic.
So, Fungo, what choice will you make?
I think a strong reaction to your virtue. I don't really know how that's heard of your actions. I don't really. Oh no, magic.
no,
Sorry,
hang on.
looking at the wrong one. My
No.
fault completely. I think backlash, lose sight.
Okay, until the end of the session.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Fungo does this, and then reveals to you all that
I can't see. I can't
this,
see.
is there panic, or is this something that's happened before? Don't worry, this has happened before. Is that what are we going with, Fungo?
No, I think a bit of panic. Can't see.
No.
I can't see.
Hey, wait, open your eyes up. Does that work
They
now?
are open, you fool.
So Velura, Kit has the egg, you have the feathers, Fungo has gone blind. What do you do, Velura, as the griffins chase out of the cave?
Can you hold an egg and the feathers at the same time?
Sure. Yeah.
So I give Velura the egg, and then I reach for Fungo's hand and just sort of like, let's get the hell out of Dodge.
All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna fly out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, that's all I need to know. So Kit is helping Fungo get out. Velura, Shelley, from your position behind the rocks, where 4 angry fairies are in a sinister way approaching you, and then 2. First of all, a brownie runs out of the cave with an egg. And
I yell on point, he's with Lord Corvin!
Followed by 2 angry griffins. Yeah? I have to ask you, Shelley, to charm them again. Do they believe you when you mislead them in this way?
Okay, I'll charmy charm. Let's see how that goes. Charmy charm.
Forgive me if I'm reusing that move too
Yeah,
much.
well, it's a 4, so no, they don't believe that.
They don't believe you,
They don't
but
believe
you
me.
do get to mark XP. So they are still coming at you. When these griffin come round the corner, and of course, by now, I think Fungo's illusion has disappeared, but they see 2 brownies and 2 goblins on this snowy hillside, and they attack them.
Oh.
Shelley, what do you do?
I mean, okay, they attack them. Can I can't do anything to help them, right? Because I can't fight a griffin. I can sing them to sleep, maybe. I mean, I don't want them. I mean, they were mean to me, but I don't want them to get.
Do you sing the brownies to sleep or the griffins to sleep?
No,
That's
the
question.
griffins. The griffins.
well,
good
and
Oh, right.
also,
I was going with
no.
Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah, Ride of the Valkyries. I will go with that and mentally try to prepare myself to become some bird penguin or something. Probably not penguin, but
The attack penguin.
yeah, yeah.
And now I
may-
imagine you
maybe.
just sliding swiftly down the snowy hillside.
No.
And
Nice.
almost immediately after those griffins explode out of there and put 2 and 2 together and get 5 and attack the sapphire adventurers, poof, out of the cave comes Velura, flat out. You can see that Velura is carrying 1 egg in the crook of 1 arm and 3 feathers in a bleeding hand. Velura, which direction do you go?
So Velura, she just like shoots out and is shooting down the mountain. Yeah. She's like, okay, we got the goods. Everyone, let's get out of here.
I'm imagining the opening
And
of a
doesn't want to
very
be seen by the griffins either, right?
Fine.
She knows
So-
she's not safe yet. Yeah.
So just leaps off the cliff in front of the cave, and we see her fall, and then out come the wings, and down she goes.
Yeah.
That leaves Kit leading a blind Fungo, not at a run, I'm guessing. Kit, how's this going to play out?
I was hoping to run. I mean, I don't know how fast Fungo moves, but we want to be out of here as fast as possible. So if I have to drag him out, like not drag him out, try to make him trip over his own feet just to like get out of here, then so be it.
Okay, I think this is probably about your reflexes, Kit, to both move quickly and not lose Fungo.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's a 10 flat.
Oh, wow.
Wait, let me see what my bonus is. I forgot. I think it reflects in my... No, it's a 1, so 11.
Hey, so moving much more quickly than anyone expected, Shelley, you will see Kit dragging Fungo, who's kind of behind them, up to where the boulders are, where you are.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh.
your fairy assailants are now occupied holding these griffins off with their rapiers.
I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this, but I kind of need to save them, I guess.
I do make sure to yell to Shelley the appropriate, let's get the hell out of here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
if
coming.
only Shelley didn't have a conscience.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to follow my virtue here.
Who's got Harlan at this stage?
Kit, I think.
Kit. Kit does.
So it's with me and Kit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's with you. He's a he.
He's with us.
He will slightly hiss at you if you call.
So Shelley, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to perform a lullaby for griffins. I've picked that up somewhere. I don't know, or maybe I'd just make up a lullaby for griffins. Probably going to go terribly, but yeah, try to.
I've seen someone put a giant snake to sleep with a lyre, so I have no problem with this.
Yeah.
So I think this is. I don't think this is +1 people, because the gift of the gab doesn't really play here. I think this is a straightforward charm.
Yep. Can I use expertise for this? Because
think
it says I could for music. I could use expertise or a charm, and at that point, I really want to draw on my musical. What I've learned about
I think that's fictionally reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll roll these 2. Come on, dice, be nice. Well, I've rolled a 5. I've got an expertise of 2, so it's a 7.
So the much to everyone, the audience is aghast that suddenly these griffins are kind of and just settling down on the snow. And kind of beginning to doze. But you do need to make one of those difficult choices.
I choose to attract attention.
From your fairy assailants.
From my fairy assailants, from the griffins, from anybody, because I'm
Oh, hang on. No, you're on the wrong list. You're on the physical
Um,
mental tasks, not the
yeah.
social tasks.
I mean, crafts, music is a
Oh
physical
yeah, you're
mental
quite right.
task.
No, I take that back. You're quite right. So I think that the angry fairies, seeing these griffins go to sleep, now will attack you. They
Let's
don't
just
know that
save them.
you did, but they're just angry at you.
Okay.
So we have Kit, a blind fungo, and Shelley as fur, fluff, hair, and windblown. Look, they turn from the sleeping griffins and they look at you, and then they charge. What do you do?
God.
Kit, what do you do? Because you've just arrived on the scenes and now there are angry fairies.
I don't think I can. I mean, I'm trying to run as fast as possible, but
Oh, you're with Shelley.
Yeah.
So they are now attacking you as well as Shelley because you're where she is.
I draw my bow or handgun, depending on what is fictionally appropriate in this setting.
I think it's a bow in the gloom and a handgun in the real world.
I didn't want. I figured as much. I just didn't want to assume. So
No, that's
yes.
fine. So
Yeah.
and what you're gonna? Shelley just saved the fairies, so now Kit is gonna shoot at them.
No. Wait, the fairy. I thought it was the who was lunging at them.
Okay.
Fairies.
The fairies, the four fairies who were
So she
here to
saved the
get
fairies,
the
but the fairies are still mad at her.
Yes.
Oh,
Damn their eyes.
Point me in the direction of the fairies.
unfortunately, I do not care. So, yeah, drawing the bow.
Okay, so you will get to attack before them. Attack with weapons or martial arts, 2d6 plus might or reflexes. I think this sounds more like reflexes than might, I have to say, with a bow.
Yeah, 2d6 plus 2. Let's do it. And that's a 9.
Okay, so it says 7 to 9. Win, lose. Player chooses one that fits the story. Both you and the enemy hit. Well, because of the distance, they can't hit you. So you can hit them without them hitting you.
All right. Is that fair? Like, is that appropriate?
Yeah, I think so. Because you've
All
got
right.
a bow, you can shoot them before they get to you.
All right. Then we'll do that.
So you inflict 4 points on Fluff, who is leading the charge. And Fluff goes down like a sack of potatoes. Well, a small sack of potatoes, it must be said. And I think that probably brings the others up short.
And I'm
they
like,
weren't
not
expecting
sorry.
that. Because there was just this musician, and now there are people firing arrows at them. And there's that big satyr that they may not know is blind.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shelley, Kit has taken down Fluff, and without their leader, the fairies look a lot less aggressive.
Okay, in that case, I'll bow to them and say, "You are a lovely audience. We have to go now. Bye."
Oh my God.
And when you bow, like I recognize the tell. So when you bow, I bow at the same time as you do.
And normally Fungo would as well, but he's just marginally slow. And so I think that therefore I unless you want to do something else on the mountainside, I'm content. Oh, go on, Fungo.
I would like to do one thing. Now, while I am blind, I actually do have excellent sense of hearing.
So you do. You hear them bow.
Well, no, I don't want to bow. I would like to pluck 3 feathers from the sleeping griffin.
Oh my God!
Oh, never leaving good enough. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah, fine.
I was really worried that they'd fallen asleep and the monarchists would grab the feathers. That's what I was really worried about. I thought we'd put them right in their hands. So yeah, I would like to, as they run, I want to grab 3 feathers.
Fine. So I'm going to just let that happen. You will get your 3 feathers. What I do want to know is whether you wake up the griffins.
So let's roll. I'll find out.
I think this is probably about reflexes rather than anything else, isn't it?
It probably isn't might, that's for sure.
No. So I think reflexes, it's just, can you get these out without disturbing the sleeping griffins?
I have reflexes at -1, so let's see. I rolled a 5 and a 3. -1 would give me 7.
7. So on a physical mental task, you succeed. You've got all 3. They do not wake up, but choose one of the one option that fits the story.
Let's go with the Gloom event.
Okay. So
Because it could be a portal to the real world, appears.
could well be, couldn't it? So 7 and 5 is 12 on the Gloom event table. Portal to fen or woods elsewhere in the gloom.
Excellent. A means of escape.
What's at the foot of the mountain where you set off from, Velura? Is there by any chance a wood or a fen?
Certainly. Yeah.
Let's have a wood where you are waiting for them at the bottom of this mountain. And out they step.
Hey, so that went pretty well.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Now,
Still can't see. Still can't see.
Is it me or you're flying a little slower than usual?
Look, I think that's as good a point as we're going to get this afternoon for the end of this mission up the icy mountain. So yes, there are end of session moves. So let me just go for advancement. Hang on a moment.
Could you maybe put them in the character?
Yeah,
keeper, or maybe-
I'm going to add some. Yeah,
Okay,
because
cool. Because I've been looking.
it's my perpetual concern using other people's keepers.
It's fine.
So hang on, here's advancement. So also per session rewards for 1 point each. And I think this is to the group. That's the way I'm going to treat it. It's not specific. But did you during this session gain lore? Anytime you learn about part of the world, the moons, astral space, creatures, magic, items, the underworld, how a faction operates or their influence, ding, you get experience points. Would someone like to suggest to me what lore you have gained?
Learn about griffins and
I
golden
think
Griffins and the monarchists.
I think that you
Yep.
certainly
The
gained
Ermine
lore.
Club.
About Corbin.
All kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, it's only one. So everyone gets to mark experience for that.
All right.
You get 1 if you explored and survived.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 point each for that. Working on goal with Fate Weave people. That was a team effort, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get 1 for that. Now, this one I think has to be done individually. Fungo, did you role play your style, vice, and or virtue?
I'd say courage, yes, because I went to help Shelley back down the mountain.
Yeah, I think that's courageous. I think going up to 2 sleeping griffins and taking their feathers is quite courageous. So yeah, you get 1 for that. What about, let me work my way, I've not started, let me go to Velura. Velura, did we see your courage or your greed at work?
Definitely saw the greed.
I would go with that.
Yeah.
Give yourself an XP. What about Kit? Did we see your vice or virtue in play?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was tempted to just leave Fungo there, so I would say courage came into play.
I think that's true. I think you helped Fungo. That was a courageous thing to do. And finally, Shelley, did we see either kindness or cowardice at work?
I think both.
I
mean,
kindness was trying to save the
goblins from the griffins.
Exactly.
Yes,
and then cowardice, just running for the rocks. Yeah, I think you get an XP as well. I think that's the entire end of session. Let me just check. Yeah, yeah. So if you fill your experience track, then what I'll do is I will cut and paste this into the keeper so you know what your options for advancement are. Okay. I think we just have a time for a bit of stars and wishes. Just give me a flavor of what you enjoyed and what you would like for next time. So let me go in character keeper order and start with Sabine. Any stars?
Yeah, stars for all of you. This was a lot of fun. The characters are great. I loved Fungo, the tall and big. He's not a minotaur. I wanted to say minotaur, but he's a satyr. So yeah, I love
Flip
that
it.
one.
Flip the parts, right?
Yeah. And Velura, I really like to see more about her bat features and the flying and stuff like that. That was lovely. And Kit is a delight, not just for carrying around Harlan, but yeah, all of you made this very very fun session. And Alan, thanks, stars to you for running it very. I know the word in German, but not in English. Very smoothly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'll take smoothly. That's good enough for me. Paul, any stars?
Yeah, all round some really good role playing there. That's what I like to see. It's a nice, easy game to play, and everybody came with their A game. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'd endorse that. I think everyone we got a real flavor of the characters in this first session, so that's great. Greg, any stars?
Yeah, pretty much everyone, kind of what everyone else hit on. I think we definitely got a feel for the characters. I loved how all the players expanded the story. Do you know what I mean? Always took it in interesting turns. Everyone really shone when the spotlight was on them, so that was always fun. And I'd say I like the and Alan, you did awesome, as usual. And I'm very impressed with this game. I like how open-ended it is, but it gave us a nice little framework of like the 4 factions. So the system looks very promising.
Well, I'm sure
one,
Blake will be pleased to hear that.
one thing I do like about it is just having like 4 moves was really nice, right? Like I think sometimes when you have too many options, it's hard to really enjoy any of them. And so here I have 2 normal moves I can just bust out, and then 2 magic moves. Awesome. Yeah.
Great. And finally, Matthew, any stars?
Yeah, I like everybody else. I had fun with the characters and the role playing and all of that stuff. But I think one of the finer points I want to put on is how I think the kind of exact diversity that we have in this group in terms of personality and character types, and even the way all of you speak and play is just really really great, and I'm looking forward to the next a handful of sessions, just because I want to see those characters really express themselves in different ways. For my wishes, I mean, I guess I pretty much borderline said, I pretty much almost said my wish, but I will admit that the milieu of the game is very alien to me, and I'm not sure I really grasp the particulars because, unlike many other tabletop role-playing gamers, I don't know a lot of, or I'm not familiar with sort of like Celtic English, myth and folk and stuff like that. Like maybe the last thing I read was like a bunch of Arthurian books when I was a kid. So I'm really looking forward to like exploring this and getting deeper and deeper into it. So
I mean, for what it's worth, there is quite a lot of stuff in the rule book, and I'm not suggesting you read that because I'd much rather build this out from you than just go to the book. So I hope that doesn't become a barrier. If it does become a barrier, Matthew, you tell me.
Oh no, like that was actually the incentive to play.
Okay.
I'm just like this if it's novelty, surprise, these are the things that attract me in these kinds of games.
Great. Greg, I'm going back the other way for wishes. Anything specific?
No. Did you send a link of the rule book at some point?
I think I sent a link to the folder which has the rules, the playbooks, and this keeper in it. Check out the Hangouts chat history. You should find
Yep.
a link in there.
I see it. Yeah, wishes. Oh, one question is, originally you asked us like what time period.
Oh yeah,
And so I was thinking, oh, does the Walkman fit in that? But I think maybe the Walkman doesn't matter what time period it is. They have a Walkman, and we'll keep it at
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I should have firmed that up when we started. We did have a bit of a chat beforehand, and I think we settled on 2010 because this game comes
okay.
with three kind of possibilities. And actually, there's no reason why we should move between them, I think. But we settled on 2010 as being most familiar to most of us.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't mess with any of the trauma I felt from being a 20-something in 1980. But anything you want to see next time?
Well, I'm very curious. I like the idea of the factions interacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the ties and so faction interaction sounds interesting. But yeah, that's it.
Fine. Well, we'll see where that takes us next time when you deliver your griffin feathers where they're supposed to get to. Paul, wishes for next time? Or in general?
Maybe some sort of real world side of things, but possibly involving the factions as well.
Yeah, I think that the logic of that coming together makes sense. Sabine, any wishes for next time?
Yeah, what echo what Paul said, I would like to see a bit of real world stuffy, because I would love to see these Gloom people interact with, I don't know,
The real world.
The real world, a Christmas fair or something. I don't know if you have these.
Yeah, let's have a Christmas fair next time. There's bound to be one outside Salisbury Cathedral. Yeah, no, we'll definitely have a Christmas fair next time.
Yay!
Oh my, I'm so excited now.
At least I get a virtual Christmas fair.
I mean, I have no.
Gee whiz, yeah, you shall go to the fair.
Yay!
Okay, that was great, folks. I thank you for that. I'm going to stop the recording, so wave bye-bye to the internet.